Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayo. Thank you for stopping by again. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a smoked off-shoulder maxi dress, and this dress is really stylish and easy to make. And without further ado, let's get started. And for this tutorial guys, we are going to be making use of this African print of 6 yards. And also for this style, we'll need our elastic thread, okay? So make sure you have an elastic thread. And to get started, we are going to be drafting the upper part, and this we are going to be drafting on a pattern paper before we now transfer to the fabrics. Alright guys, so the top of this paper is going to be our start line, and the first thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and start marking 1.5 inches all the way, okay? I'll go ahead and mark 1.5 inches at the top of this paper, and this 1.5 inches is going to be folded later on, okay? So I'll just go ahead and connect all the points together on a straight line. And right now this line is where I will start all my measurement on. Remember that we are making an off shoulder, so you are going to determine how deep you want your off shoulder to be. You can use 4, you can use 5, or even 6, or even 7, depend on what you want, okay? So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using 5 inches. So what you need to do is to place your tape rule just the way I placed it, like this. I'm going to place 5 inches outward, starting from this green line here, okay? So I'm going to place it like so. Then I'm going to measure out all the other vertical measurements. And the vertical measurement that you need in this case is actually your shoulder to your waist, which is the half length. So I will just go ahead and indicate my half length on the paper like so. And I'll also go ahead and add half an inch joining allowance. And the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and mark out our shoulder measurement divided by 2. In this case, it is 7.5. So I'll go ahead and indicate that here. And the next thing to do is to indicate the chest line, which is shoulder divided by 2 plus 1 inch. And in this case, it is actually 8.5. So I'm going to indicate that on a straight line like so. And I'm going to go ahead and create a square around that, just like we do whenever we want to make our armhole, okay? So I'm just going to square it up like so. And the next thing to do is to impute our bust circumference divided by 4 and also our waist circumference divided by 4. And right now, I'll just go ahead and connect the points together. You will notice here that I didn't add any seam allowance, okay? So just go ahead and do it just the way I did it here. And the next thing to do is to go ahead and create our armhole curve. And so instead of having a deep curve on the armhole like we do for our normal basic bodies, I'll make sure that it is not as deep as that, okay? Because we are making an off shoulder dress, okay? So I'll just place my pattern master here like so, and I'll connect it together like this. And I'll go ahead and join on a straight line to meet that 1.5 inches we left earlier on. And the next thing we'll do here is just to go ahead and cut it out. And right now we are going to use this pattern paper to cut both the front and the back piece. So I'll go ahead and fold in my fabrics like this. So you are going to go ahead and fold your fabric in a way that you have an excess of 5 inches or more, as you can see right here. So what I will do next is to go ahead and mark 5 inches first of all. So I'll mark 5 inches all on a straight line like so, and I'll just go ahead and join those points together. So now you're going to place your pattern paper directly on that line that you marked, and you're going to go ahead and cut out using the pattern paper as a guide. And having done that, you are going to go ahead and notch the center like so, and we are going to use this one that we just cut out. We are going to use it to go ahead and cut the back piece. So right here, I will place the front piece on the material like this, and I will leave zip allowance of about 1 inch here, okay, and I'll just go ahead and cut it out using the front piece as a guide. And right now I'll come to this armhole area and I will notch where 1.5 inches falls at, okay, and that notch will serve as a guide when we want to fold later. And the next thing to do is to cut open the back piece. Alright guys, and in order to cut the skirt part, we are going to need our skirt length and our waist circumference, okay, in order to cut a 180-degree flare. Alright, and for this tutorial, the skirt length we are using is actually 43, and I add 1 inch to that, 1 inch folding allowance, and that makes it 44 inches. And the waist that we're using is actually 33.5 for the waist circumference, and plus 2 inches, that is for the zip allowance. That will give us 35.5, and I approximated this to be 36. You can leave it exactly as 35.5 or whatever you get without approximating it. And right here guys is the formula for calculating a 180-degree circumference. To get our radius, we are going to divide our circumference, which is 36. We're going to divide it by 2 pi, which is 3.14, and this 3.14 is a constant. And when you do that, when I calculated that, I got 11.46 and approximated that to be 11.5, okay. And in order to know what to fold on the fabric, I'm going to add up 11.5, which is our radius, plus our skirt length, and this is going to give me what to fold, which is 55.5 when I calculated it, and I approximated that to be 56 inches, okay. And so I'll go ahead and measure 56 inches on this material. And right on the 56 inches point, I'm going to fold the material like so. I'm folding it into 2, meaning that we would have 56 inches in 2 places. And right after folding it into 2, we are going to refold it in an angular way like this. So here guys, I had to refold it on the floor so that we can see the whole angle to it. And the next thing to do guys is to place the tape measure at the peak like so, and we are going to impute the radius that we got, all right, all around it from one end to the other. And having done that, I'll just go ahead and add half an inch allowance on the top like so. Alright guys, and in order to get the length of the skirt, I'm going to place the tape measure at the peak like that, and I'm going to be measuring 56 inches, alright, all the way around the material like so, okay. As you can see, the Ankara fabric cannot cover the whole length because Ankara normally comes with 45 inches length, but that's not a problem. We are going to be adding to that later on. Just measure your length, whatever it is, all the way around. And right now guys, I'll go ahead and cut out the skirt. And this is what our skirt looks like after cutting it. And in order to make up for this shortage on the part of the skirt, I'm going to pick up the remaining material like this, and I'll fold it into 2. And after folding it into 2, I'm going to align the folded part of the extra material. I'm going to align it to the folded part of the skirt that we have here, all right. And I'm going to pin it together with half an inch. And right now, I'm just going to go ahead and cut on a straight line like so. Using the one under as a guide, I'm just going to trace it and cut on a straight line like this. And right now, I'll flip it to the other side, all right. And since this other side does not have shortage, I'm going to use this as a guide in order to cut. So here guys, this is the remaining material and I'm going to fold it into 4 in order to cut out our sleeve. Okay, and here is the folded material. I folded it into 4 because we are going to be cutting both sleeve at once. Okay, so guys, 3 inches is going to go for elastic casing at the top and at the bottom of the sleeve, and the sleeve length itself is actually 16 inches, and in all we have 19 inches right here. And for the wideness, I'm going to be using 15 inches. So I will mark 15 inches all the way from the top to the bottom of the sleeve. The next thing I'll do is to place the front piece on the sleeve like so. And on the end that is not folded, I'm going to retrace the armhole just like we have it on the front piece. And that part that I marked is the part that we notched earlier on, which has the 1.5 inches folding allowance. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and cut out this piece. And right now it is time to start stitching. Okay, and the first thing I'll do is to pick up the front piece like so, and I'm going to open it up. Okay, and the first thing you do is to go ahead and fold by half an inch first of all, and after folding by half an inch, you are going to fold by 1 inch using that 1.5 inches that we left earlier on, and we are going to stitch it. And we are going to repeat the same process to the back piece also. So right here guys, before I started stitching, I went ahead to iron it, and then I'll go ahead and start stitching on the fold. So right here guys, I've gone ahead to fold the 1.5 inches at the top of the front piece and also the back piece, and right now I'll go ahead and reel the elastic thread on the bobbin. So guys, power went off, so I will have to use manual machine to continue. So here guys, I've gone ahead to run the first stitch on the front piece. This is the front piece, and right after the fold I ran a straight stitch, as you can see right here, and this is what I will do all the way all through the material. I'm going to be using a distance of not up to half an inch all the way around this front piece, and I'm going to repeat the same process on the back piece also. And right now this is the front and the back piece, and this is what it looks like after running the elastic thread all through it. And the next thing to do is to go ahead and align the back piece on the front piece, and we are going to go ahead and stitch the side using about 1 inch. Okay, so I'm just going to align it together, then I'm going to stitch it all the way down like so. So guys, this is it after joining this side, and this is the wrong side. Okay, and when you flip it over, this is the right side. And I forgot to mention it the other time, you're going to leave half an inch joining allowance in order for us to be able to join it to the skirt. Okay, and the next thing to do is to go ahead and align the upper part to the lower part. Okay, make sure to notch the center of the skirt and also the center of the blouse, then you are going to align it together and stitch together. Here guys, this is what it looks like after joining the upper part and the lower part together. You will notice this ripple it forms on the skirt part. When you wear it on the actual waist, it's going to stretch out like this. Okay, but this is what it looks like right now. And so because I'm using a small African print, it is kind of light, so I went ahead to add lining piece to the skirt part. Okay, this is totally optional. And as you can see right here, I've gone ahead to join the back piece of the skirt together. And up next, we are going to fix the sleeve. So right here guys, this is the sleeve, and I've gone ahead to stitch the side together. And the next thing we need to do is to fold the casing on the upper part and also fold the casing on the lower part, okay? Just fold by half an inch at first, then you fold by 1 inch, okay, as you can see right here. Then we are going to go ahead and stitch it, and we're going to repeat the same process to the down part also. So guys, we are going to need elastic for the insert, okay? And for the top part where we are going to join to the sleeve, I'm going to measure 9 inches. If you are on a smaller side, you can use 8 inches. But in this tutorial, I'm going to be using 9 inches, okay? And I would go ahead and cut 9 inches for both of the sleeves. And for the hem of the sleeve, I'm just going to measure my elbow, and I'm just going to use that to cut out an elastic. So right here guys, I've already folded the casing, and I'll just get my safety pin and I'll insert the elastic into the casing. And after inserting the elastic into the sleeve and securing it, the next thing to do is to go ahead and attach the sleeve to the main dress. So right here guys, I've gone ahead to attach the sleeve to the main dress. I also went ahead to hem the bottom part of the dress. And lastly, I went ahead to also fix the zipper. And here is what it looks like on the mannequin. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.